Hello everyone, welcome to astrologynewsreport.com. Today is December 8th, 2013.
Presenting an alternate view of world events as seen through the lens of Vedic astrology.
I'm Ron Berger.
And I'm David Anton Savage. Let's take a look at the week that was.
Nelson Mandela, symbol of an age of great hope, died last Thursday at the age of 95. As we would expect, his chart is unusual in several ways. Mandela's chart has a Scorpio ascendant, which certainly fits. Scorpios at their best are inspirational and good at organizing others for a common goal. Scorpios have great confidence and determination. They fight until the aim is achieved. He was the embodiment of transformational energy, as his chart clearly shows, with Rahu, the agent of transformation, conjunct his ascendant degree. His powerful Saturn-Mercury-Sun conjunction in the 9th house is what gave him a sense of destiny, and the Gemini-Jupiter gave him the ability to find common ground with anyone.
Note, too, that Venus, the planet of love, is conjunct Ketu, the significator of universality, and simultaneously exactly opposite the ascendant degree. He wasn't just respected, he was loved by everyone. He himself exhibited an all-inclusive love, seemingly incapable of hatred. In spite of having to endure great injustice in his life, he had the grace to set aside personal differences for the sake of the common good.
All right, moving on now. Mars is the planet of energy and action. Uranus is the planet of rebellion. Since November 26th, Mars and Uranus are in signs that are opposite each other in the zodiac, setting up a planetary pattern that gives energy to the rebellious. Last week, in both Thailand and Ukraine, opposition against the government intensified. In both cases, the protesters are demanding that their leaders step down due to suspicions of corruption. The Prime Minister of Thailand has dissolved Parliament and will schedule new elections. And in Ukraine, the government has responded with riot police.
Yes, and I hear they just tore down a statue of Lenin recently.
Oh,
well, here in the good old US of A, we are having our own rebellion of sorts. Fast food workers across the country went on strike last Thursday demanding higher wages. Over the past couple of decades, as the value of the dollar goes down, jobs paying the minimum wage won't even get a worker past the poverty line. The millions of people who work for McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, etc. have had enough, and they are now out on the streets.
Whoa. All right, Mercury is in Scorpio now. Scorpio, a sign ruled by Mars. Meanwhile, Mars is in Virgo, a sign ruled by Mercury. This sets up a Parivatna Yoga, an exchange of sign rulerships, which puts the two planets into a relationship and promotes the significations of Scorpio and Virgo. Scorpio is the sign of investigations. Virgo is the sign of analysis. As we predicted last week, the energy pattern is ripe for investigations, revelations, exposés, and scandal. Last week it became obvious that the CIA had made a secret deal with Poland to have certain people tortured on behalf of the USA.
In the first ever public hearing, the European Human Rights Court heard testimony regarding Poland's role in the CIA's Extraordinary Renditions Program involving black site prisons and torture of suspects. The hearing examined claims that Warsaw allowed the CIA to operate a jail for suspected terrorists who were tortured in a remote village in northeast Poland.
And as we were expecting, the interchange between Mars in Virgo, the sign of analysis, and Mercury in Scorpio, the sign of secrets, has produced yet another revelation about the actions of America's super snoop agency, the NSA. According to documents obtained by the Washington Post, the NSA scoops up billions of records a day, reporting on the location of mobile phones all around the world. This information is ostensibly used to compile travel habit data for the purpose of target development. Cell phones can be tracked because they automatically report their location to the nearest transmission tower every 20 minutes or so.
Oh boy, as if there wasn't enough paranoia going around. You know that when your cell phone is in your pocket, the NSA is busy tracking you for their target development program.
How does it feel to be a target, David?
Mm.
And here's another manifestation of the Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Virgo Parivatna Yoga. An investigative report from the International Student Assessment Survey confirms the reality of what was already suspected, that the USA is falling behind in the education department. United States high school students were mediocre at best, showing only middle-range rankings for student proficiency in math, reading, and science. Students in Shanghai, China, ranked first.
Interesting that Mercury is the planet of learning, and it is now transiting in the USA 12th house of loss. And that same 12th house, being Scorpio, is activated now by the USA being in its Mars major period. Mars also rules the 5th house of the nation's children, as well as teachers and teachings.
Yet another manifestation of Mars opposite Uranus. Since Uranus is in Pisces, a water sign, and Mars is the planet of violence and destruction, the likelihood of severe weather is increased. Last week, a massive ice storm hammered the South and Midwest states, which continued through the weekend, killing at least 9 people and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of homes. Highway travel was near impossible, and thousands of airline flights had to be canceled. Meanwhile, over in Europe, a very intense storm hit the coast of Britain with hurricane-force winds, causing widespread flooding and destruction not seen for 60 years.
So we conclude this week's review of the week. Be sure to click in with us next week.